Hi everyone, it's Lisa. I'm back to show you a technique that I use to dye my papers with. Actually, I do a lot of mixed media work as well as the journal making and messing with papers. And I've had my Gelli plate for a really long time, which is why it's so messy. That, and I like for my acrylic paints to dry on it, and then when I use wet acrylics over it, that helps to lift up some of the gunk on there and gives some interesting effects on my new paper. So, but I wanted to show you what I'm doing with the dyes right now. And this technique I saw ARTYmaze do with her tags in a smaller Gelli plate, and I thought, oh my gosh, why haven't I gotten my plate out and tried that? So I'm going to show you her last kit that she did, the beautiful birds. I'm still in the process of making that journal, but I also bought her new kit today, and I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of that one, but I will put a link in the video so that you can go to it if you're interested in it. What I do is just spray coffee and the inks onto my plate, and it makes some really nice organic ink stains. I don't know if you can see the paper well enough. Hopefully you can. It's kind of dark and dreary here right now. And I have my other light locked away in the other room, so couldn't get that out right now. But this is the back side of that one, and I love how that turns out. I have in the past printed another paper onto the back of my papers, but I wanted something different that no one else would have. So I think I'm going to start going with this technique a lot more. And then this one, and I like how the inks make the part of the image come through as well. Put it on that. And that's more of just the coffee stain, and just a little bit of the dye came up on that one. But this is the look that we're going to go for with this new kit too. So that just kind of gives you an idea of the look that we're going after. And then once these papers dry, I'll come back and do a short video so that you can see how they turned out as well. Sure what colors I'm going to use on this one. I'm thinking maybe this mowed lawn and some cracked pistachio, and I have some abandoned coral and wilted violet. I think all of those would enhance those really well. It helps if you have your inks open ahead of time, for sure. Just had to buy all new inks the other day because I was running low. I have some India inks and some acrylic inks too that I may test out in the future just to see how well they do with this technique on my journal pages. Maybe just a little bit too dark for what I'm going for, but we'll see. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So I have my papers to the left of me. I have my Gelli plate in the center, And then on the right, I have a pan just to set everything in until I can get it all dried. And I always start out with some coffee. This is the mowed lawn. No, I'm sorry, this is the cracked pistachio. And I'm going to use just a little bit of the wilted violet too. And then I like to fold my paper because it kind of breaks that seam in the center, and it seems to really take well in that center area then. And then I just set it down on there and flatten it out. And I'm going to spray a little bit of coffee on top. But I don't want too much of the color on top because I don't want to spoil the beautiful images that Andrea created. And then on the back, if you can see, we've got some dripping going on, and some of the colors are real vivid, and then some of them are a little more muted. Let me give that another spray, see what happens. And then once it dries, it looks kind of dark here, but once it dries, it'll be much more toned down. So don't get scared. This is a piece of the what she has for the bonus background papers, but I really wanted to use that directly in my journal. Spray some coffee on top of that. And then if it starts to look muddy, you can use just a plain piece of paper and mop up what you've got down there so that you can start with a fresh plate. And that even looks really nice, just a plain piece of paper. And this was just the cheapest copy paper that I could find. I think I'll do one more of those just to try and get some more of that up. And then here's the background paper done in red. And I'm going to use some of this abandoned coral with this one, just to see what happens. I always leave my edges on here too, because sometimes they don't look as nice when they're dry. So I can just cut those off and not have to worry about that. I have plenty of that ink on here, so I'm just going to spray again with the coffee. And I'll probably add another color. I'm going to go with the mowed lawn with that and see what happens besides mud. Because we all know when you mix opposite of the color wheel, that's what happens. You get a mud or gray color. So we'll see what happens. Sometimes that's a really neat color though, so I don't mind it. And some of this coffee got up on the top here, so I'm going to let it run down. Makes a nice strip here on the side right here. And the opposite side looks like that. It looks really cool, I think. Just going to go ahead and do this one as well. The other day when I did this, my paper soaked up the ink a lot better than what it's doing today. So not sure if that had to do with how humid it was or what, but it was showing more on the outside as well. But it's really, really pretty on that side. Back to the purple, which is my favorite color. You'll learn that if you watch my videos much. Try and break up some of that purple by adding more of the coffee. And I'm just going to let it drip off. I don't know, this might be an old technique to everyone else, but I haven't seen people using the Gelli plate too much to color the paper. So hopefully it's something new for you to take a look at. I'm gonna just kind of go around the edges of this one. Color that in a little bit. And there's the other side. Not sure if you all watch Patricia Viramonte's, but she has a stain out also that I thought would look pretty neat after I dry this paper to put a layer of that over top. I'll just really play just to see how things end up, and I just don't like to have my journals look like everyone else's, so I try to come up with different ways to make it my own. And this is something where 15 people could do the same thing and it would look different each time for each person. So if you like what I'm doing, I encourage you to give it a try. I've had my big plate for, oh gosh, probably 7 years. I bought it on the Gelli printing site, so I don't even know if they sell this plate anymore, but you could give it a try. I don't think I've ever seen one this big in the store before, but it's well worth it if you do a lot of Gelli printing. one little drip there. I think that looks pretty cool. And that's the back. And it'll look completely different, like I said, once I dry it. So I will for sure come back and show you how that turned out as well. Oh, that one's really cool. Hopefully you can see that. Just going to use a plain piece of paper again and mop up some of that extra. I really wish some of that paint would come off on here, but I think it takes the acrylic paint applied to really pull it off of there. Smells heavenly in my craft room right now with that coffee smell. I love the smell of coffee, but I don't like the taste of it at all. There's that piece. Go with the coral and the mowed lawn again. I like those two together. And I'm going to give it another hit of the coffee also, just to kind of mix it all around. The juicier it is, the better the paper turns out, I think. So there's that. And be prepared for a mess, because there's no clean way to do this. That's another one. Up here and grab all of this. Just kind of smush it back and forth. And the beauty of buying digital kits, if you don't like the way that one turned out, you can always just reprint and redo it. Mix that one with a little bit of the coral red. Sometimes when I'm using my inks, I get crazy and dash a little bit of alcohol with my fingers like this and on the plate itself, directly onto the inks, and that makes a really neat effect as well. Oh, that's very pretty. Artie, if you're watching this, I hope you're not thinking, oh my God, what is she doing to my beautiful work? And it is beautiful. I haven't seen anything that you've made that hasn't been beautiful. There's that one. You can see it. Say hi to my granddaughters, Carson and Brayley, because they're just waiting for another video to come up. They're so excited that Grandma's making videos now. I love you, girls. And there's that one. That one turned out really nice. It's a little muddy, so it's time to mop up again, I think. Can't wait to get started on this. It's so pretty. And then I went ahead and printed the ephemera too. And this is printed on HP paper, 32 pound, 100 bright. I guess it's 100%. I don't know what that stands for. It's really neat. Of course, I'm sure you know this already, but just kind of pay attention to what colors are in your printed papers, if that matters to you. Sometimes it doesn't even matter, but that'll just help to enhance the whole project too. Sometimes it's nice to do the opposite colors because that just adds another layer that's unexpected. These ephemera pieces I did turn over and get more ink on them because I really want them to show it good. I like what my fingers are doing to the ink as well. If you like this kit, it's available on ARTYmaze and Etsy. And she's actually having a sale right now, so I think it's 20% off. Of course, my husband likes to say that that never matters to me because I don't like to save money. And this is the last one, debating on whether I even want to do it or not because it's the roses. But I think I'll just put just a little bit of the coral in there along with the coffee and maybe some, trying to squeeze it lightly, mowed lawn. And that's it, guys. I'll go and try these, and I'll put both of the videos up together so that you can see the outcome right after you see this video. And thank you very much for watching. Have a good day.